And like I said before, there's a meadow. You've got the trees in the distance, and then a wild meadow that was teeming with new daffodils. Just get a little bit more tissue. Clean my brush. Get some pure yellow. And often when you're doing a painting, it's tempting. You want to show this meadow in the distance. It's tempting to do a really big band of yellow, but I could actually only see a little bit of that through the trees. So I'm going to keep it really as a small band. As you can see, I'm using just pure yellow. I'll let that dry now as it is. And then towards the front here, I'm going to put pure yellow in virtually all the foreground, because that's how many daffodils there were. It was a riot. And what we'll do later on, we'll kind of put green to isolate the individual daffodils. And I'll probably wait till this is dry and then mask a few out quite detailed. So we'll have a mixture then. We'll have the distant ones in the field, and coming closer they'll be a little bit more detailed. So this track, there's one there. Like you can see, I'm dropping really strong yellow into that yellow now. And these will end up being our swathes of daffodils. So I think that's all we need on that wash. Just take a couple of hairs out. All right, so I'm going to dry this now with my hairdryer to speed things along. Just quickly explain, I can't answer any comments because there isn't a comment box coming up. But I'm just going to dry this wash now. Right, it's still not dry this, but I don't want you getting too bored really. It's a bit difficult. I wish I could figure a way of drying it without using my hairdryer for ages, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So let's just recap what we've done. We've used the golden section, third and a third and a third virtually. We've put a nice light blue wash on. It's a picture that I was looking at this morning. I had taken my wife to work and I thought, I've got to paint that. And I thought I'll do it live because I'm kind of practicing my demonstrations and doing some live ones shortly all around the area. And I've just got to get this one down, right? And then this second wash is the same wash we used on the sky, but putting two washes down, as we know, it makes double the contrast. Now I've made a little circle there for my son, which is where I know where it is now, so I'm just going to rub that out, kind of distracting me. And now what we want to do now is just start describing the trees. I want this to dry perfectly, so it's perfectly dry, because what I'm going to do is just add some masking fluid, because the shadows, you know, the sun's behind, the trees are very dark and they're casting shadows across the daffodils. So if we mask a few of them, you know, sometimes, you know, some of them pop their heads up and they're brilliant yellow, some are in shadow. That'll be the effect we're looking for. But first, before I do any more on that part, I'm going to start just describing the trees. Getting a bit of a mess here. I'm going to use my hake brush. Anybody who's watched me before, they know I love this brush. And we'll use brown to start with, which is our raw umber. It's a nice brown that you can darken with blues, with Payne's grey, or you can use it neat like I'm here. I'm just using very light wash at the moment, you'll notice, because I want to kind of just get in where the trees are. So I've drawn one or two lines to guide me. Now to do the trees, I just use the hake brush side on, use 2 fingers to take off the excess, add a little bit more so it's nice and sharp, you see, you can do a sharp line with that. I'll start with this tree, and the way I'll do it is just like that. So I'm literally just dropping my paint onto the paper in the, you know, we all see trees, we know what the shapes are like. And we know the sun is there, so I'm just going to go over that a little bit now. You know, go around it, I should say, because you know these days, in photographs especially, you kind of get the sun kind of blinds you, you don't see what's actually in front of it. That's the idea, hopefully, that'll end up by dark, all this front, this mid-ground will be darkened off later on. So I'm going to make the trees all be quite straight, but with the wind we've had just lately, I think a couple of them actually have blown over, so let's just show a few blowing over. Now there's actually light trees behind the darker trees, if you understand what I'm saying. So we'll put them in all in light first, and then we'll darken them off later. The message box still hasn't come up, so if anybody was wondering what I'm up to and asking questions, unfortunately I can't see any questions coming up, so you just have to bear with me, and I'll answer if they come up. I will answer them later on. Incidentally, in the description there I've put a link to my new mailing list. I've never actually had a mailing list before, you know, so I can send offers on my courses and stuff. So if you want to subscribe to that, be my guest, do so. And I'll send you, like I say, all my latest offers. Okay, so we're building kind of like a skeleton now, and the reason that we're going very light is because we can't lighten things up later on. We can, but it's just a lot of messing about. So I'll just take it stage by stage. Now these are all obviously drying off now. I'll just get this side finished. You see how we're coming in front of the first part, because